In this video, I'm going to show you how to draw this cute baby unicorn on a cloud. Before you start, make sure to download the color palette and all my free brushes that are linked in the description of this video. And if you will enjoy this tutorial and would like to draw more of me, make sure to check out my Patreon, where I have more step-by-step tutorials like this and many Procreate brushes. Link is in the description. And with all that being said, grab your drawing tools and let's start. Let's make a new canvas, A4 canvas from Procreate. And first we are going to do a very simple sketch. So let's grab some kind of gray color, like this. And let's take a sketching brush. Let's go here to sketching, and I will use 6B pencil. If you want, you can use any other brush that you like. My brush size will be 55. And let's start with drawing the unicorn's head. So let's draw here a rounded shape like this. And now let's draw here the body. The body will be more in like an egg shape. Something like this. Let's make the body a little bit smaller than the head. This way the unicorn will be more cute. Now somewhere over here at the top of his head we can draw his horn. So let's draw a triangular shape like this. I'll make it go to the side a little bit. And we can divide it into smaller pieces like that. Now let's draw his eyes. I will draw them closed this way. And then mouth somewhere over here. I will draw a smile like this. Now let's draw the ears. So somewhere a little bit higher than the horn, we can draw a triangular shape like that. Kind of more like a teardrop. And the same shape inside here. And now second ear over here. This one will be more in the back. So just like that. Now let's draw his hair. Let's start over here with the big bang on his forehead. Like that. Then a piece going to the right. Something like this. And then one still here on the left side, in the back. So like that. We can now divide the hair into few parts that will be in different colors. Maybe I will start one here like this. We can also now adjust the shape of the head. So I'll just make a curved line like this. And let's draw now his arms. So let's draw just kind of like a sausage shapes over here. Maybe I will make him a little bit more slimmer. And now let's draw his feet. So let's draw a small arc going this way. Now one going upwards. Same on the other side. And let's finish them with an oval shape. Now we can draw a cloud that this unicorn will be sitting on. Let's start with a big arc in front of him, so something like that. Now one over here. Maybe one going from here. And now we can build the bottom part of the cloud. So let's draw a few arcs. And let's take it here to the back of the unicorn, like this. Okay, so my sketch is finished. We can move it now on the canvas, so it will be more in the middle of it. Let's take the arrow tool. Here at the bottom, let's pick uniform option and turn on snapping. This way we can move it like that. And we can place it in the middle of the canvas. I will make it also just a little bit bigger. Okay, let's tap here to finish. And we are ready to start drawing the outline. So first let's open the layers. Let's tap on this layer over here, tap on rename, and we can name it sketch. And now we have to change the blending mode of this layer. So let's tap here on this end letter and set it to multiply. Let's turn down the opacity of this. Let's make it 25%. Now let's make a new layer and put it under the sketch layer to start drawing the outlines. We can start with the cloud. Let's take the color for it. Let's take this one. And let's pick a brush. Let's go to calligraphy and take monoline brush. Let's make the brush size 20%. And we can just outline following the lines of the sketch. If you want to have nice and not shaky lines, you can adjust the preferences of the brush. Let's go to the Actions menu, go to Preferences, go to Pressure and Smoothing, and here change the stabilization. Put it somewhere around 50%, maybe even 60%, and this way your strokes will be nice and smooth. So now let's outline this. Take your time and outline all the lines from the cloud. And don't worry if you will draw on the unicorn shape, we will be fixing that later. Now we can make a new layer to outline the unicorn. And we are doing this on a separate layer to make it easier in a moment to fix the lines. Let's change the color for the unicorn. Let's take this one. And let's outline. I'm going to outline the eyes with a different brush, so I will leave them for now. So for the eyes, let's change the brush, let's go to inking, and let's take Studio Pen. Let's make the brush size 11. Okay, and now let's move on and outline the horn. Let's make a new layer for this. Let's take this color. Let's go back to the monoline brush. So go to calligraphy and take monoline brush. And let's outline this. And now let's make a new layer for the hair. Let's change the color. Let's take this one and let's outline it. Okay, so all my outlines are ready. Now we can start erasing the lines that we don't want to see. So let's start here with the hairlines. Let's take the eraser, let's tap on it again and set it to the same brush, some other line from calligraphy. Let's make the brush size 47 and let's erase what we shouldn't see. So let's erase here this line. Also over here. And this line I will keep because I want this part of the hair to be on top of the horn. So here actually I will go to the horn layer and I can erase this. Okay, maybe actually so we can see better here, we can turn off now the sketch layer. We don't need to see it anymore. So we can just tap here and now everything looks much clearer. Okay, so let's go back to the hair layer and let's keep erasing what we don't want to see. So here I have to erase this line, also here. Now this is okay. I'm going to keep this line on the ear, but this one should not be here. Okay, so now let's go to the layer of the unicorn's body, this one. And let's do the same. Let's erase the lines that we shouldn't see. So here, this. Now I have here small piece over here, behind the hair. Now this part for the ear. Okay, and now here let's go to the bottom of the unicorn. And I should not see this line. This part of the leg will be behind the cloud. Okay, now let's go to the layer of the cloud, over here, and let's erase the lines. Okay, I will just go here and fix this line. Okay, and I think this is it. So now let's look at it to make sure that everything looks good. There is no overlapping lines anywhere, and that you're happy with these outlines. When you're happy with them, we can merge all of those layers together. So let's pinch all of those 4 layers with the outlines together like this. Now all the outlines are just on one layer, and we can start coloring them. To do that, we can set this layer as reference. Let's tap on it and pick reference. Now let's make a new layer and put it under the reference layer, and we can start coloring this. We are going to color each part of the illustration separately. So the cloud, the body of the unicorn, the hair, and the horn. Let's start with the cloud. Let's pick a color for this. Take this one. And let's drag and drop it in here. Also here, here, and here. And I still see a small piece over here, so I can just color this. Now let's color the unicorn. Let's make a new layer for this. Let's pick a color. Take this one, second one in a second line. and color it here like this. Okay. And now let's pick the color for the feet and the ears. Let's take this color. Let's drag it in here. Okay. Now let's color the horn. So let's make a new layer for this. Let's take this color and color it here like this. If you want to color faster, you can take continue filling here and just tap on the places you want to color. Okay, and now the hair. Let's make a new layer for this and pick the color. Let's take this pink one and I will color here this hair. Now I'll take the continue filling. I will also color this piece. Now let's change the color. Let's take the blue one. And here I will color this part. And this one. And now we can take green color. This. And let's color this part. And also this one. And now the last color for the hair. This purple one. Let's color whatever we have left. And now let's take a small break and I would like to ask you to write a comment with the word unicorn. It would mean a lot to me, I would know that you enjoyed this video and I could see who is watching me, so thank you for doing that. And now let's go back to drawing. Okay, so all my base colors are ready. We can start adding here some nice shading to them. Let's go back to the cloud and start with the cloud. So let's go to this layer over here. And let's set it as alpha lock. So tap on it and pick alpha lock. This way we can color now only on the shape that is on this layer. Let's pick a color. Let's take this white one here, almost white. And let's change the brush. Let's go to airbrushing and take soft brush. Let's make the brush size 7%. And we can brighten up this cloud like that. For this, actually, we can change the settings. We want to have some more movement with our pencil. Let's go to the Actions menu, Preferences, Persian Smoothing, and let's turn down the stabilization. I'll make it 21%, and now we can move our pencil way easier. So let's add this light color over here, like that, in the parts where the clouds are more puffy. Okay, let's add another color here. This one, next one in line. This will make the cloud more vibrant. Let's add it very lightly over here, around the color we just added. Okay, I like it like that. So now let's move on and start adding some colors to the unicorn. Let's go to the layer of it. Let's tap on it and set it to alpha lock. And let's change the color. Let's take here this pink one. And we can just brighten up here the top part of his feet, like that. Just be careful not to go on his body here. Now let's brighten up the top of his ears, just the pink part. So for this we can take the selection tool And we are going to select just those two parts. So here at the bottom it's Pick Automatic. Let's turn off the color fill and just tap here and here. Now let's take the brush and we can now just color only in those parts. So let's brighten this up here, the top corners of the ears, like that. Okay, let's tap here to finish this. And now we can draw the blush. Let's make the brush size smaller for this, 4%, and just draw circular shape like this here, very lightly. Same on the other side. And we can mark his nose. Let's make the brush size smaller. Let's make it 2%. And somewhere over here we can just draw an arc like that. Okay, now let's add some colors to the hair. So let's go to the layer of it. And here we can make a new layer on top of this. Instead of changing this to alpha lock, we are going to set this layer as clipping mask. So tap on it and pick clipping mask. This way whatever we'll draw here will be visible only on the hair. And we'll add here some vibrant colors. Let's pick them. Let's take this pink one over here. We can make the brush size bigger again, 5%. And just add it here kind of randomly, like that. Okay. Now let's take another color, this blue one, and add it also in few places. So now there are many colors on his hair. Let's add some more variation to this by going to the adjustments and taking chromatic aberration. Swipe your pencil on screen to add the chromatic aberration. And now we can move this point over here to see how this will be changing. So my chromatic aberration is 60. And I move this point just a little bit down to the right corner. Let's tap here to finish this. And we are going to turn down the opacity of this layer. So let's tap here and let's turn it down. I will make it 83%. Okay, and now let's add some colors to the horn. So let's go to this layer with it, tap on it and set it as alpha lock. And let's pick a color. Let's take this one. Let's make the brush size smaller, 2%. And we can just add this here a little bit like that. Okay. And to make this horn more interesting, we can add here some glitter. For this we can make a new layer. We can set it as clipping mask. And let's change the color. Let's take this one. And let's change the brush. Let's go to my Siakulaart special brushes and take glitter. Let's make the brush size 9%. And just add it here on one side. Let's add it to the left side like this. And now we can add one more color here. Let's take this pink one here and add it over here like that. So now that we have this, we can start adding light and shadow to this illustration. We can start with the horn. Let's make a new layer on top of this. Set it as clipping mask. Let's change the blending mode here to multiply. And let's change the color. For the shadows, we'll use this purple color here. Let's go back to the monoline brush. So go to calligraphy and take monoline brush. And we can add the shadow on the right side of the horn of each piece and then on the bottom part of it, like that. And don't worry that this color looks weird, we are going to change the opacity of this layer. Okay, so let's turn down the opacity of this. Let's make it 29%. Right away, let's add here light. Let's make a new layer for this. Set it as clipping mask. For the light, we'll change the blending mode to overlay. And let's change the color. Let's take this yellow one here. And let's add the light on the left side, like that. Okay. And here we're going to duplicate this layer. So let's swipe on it to the left and pick duplicate. And we can change the blending mode of the layer underneath. So this one, let's set it to add. I want this horn to be really shiny. So here we can add also a Gaussian blur. Let's go to the adjustments, take Gaussian blur, and swipe your pencil on the screen to the blur size. And let's make it 4%. Let's tap here to finish. And we can adjust the opacity of this layer. Let's make it 65. Okay, let's add the light to the hair. So let's go here to this layer with the colors on the hair. Let's make a new layer on top of this. Let's set it as clipping mask. And let's change the blending mode to multiply. Let's change the color to the purple one. And let's start drawing the shadow over here, like that. I'll add a small line of shadow next to the hair strand. Like this. Same over here. For this front one over here, I will not do it, but I will add it over here. Same here. And over here. Now let's make the brush size bigger. Let's make it 65%. And we can add here more shadow. Let's add shadow behind the horn. So like this. Then over here in the part. Over here under the bangs. And let's darken up here this whole part of the hair in the back. And now over here, let's add shadow behind the ear. And then like this on the right side of the hair. Okay, and I think this is enough. So let's turn down the opacity of this layer. Let's make it here 28%. Now let's make a new layer to add the light. Let's set it as clipping mask. Let's change the blending mode to overlay. And let's change the color. Let's take this yellow one. And let's draw the light on the hair. Let's make the brush size smaller for this. Let's make it 35. And we can add the light over here like this. On the top of the hair. We can add here a big light like this. Same over here. Now over here. Okay, I think this is enough. Let's turn down the opacity of this layer. Let's make it 36%. Okay, now let's add the shadow to the unicorn. So let's go here to his body. Let's make a new layer on top of this. Let's set it as clipping mask. and change the blending mode to multiply. Let's change the color for the shadow color, this one. And let's add the shadows. Let's start here on the ears. Let's draw it over here on the right side, like that. We can also add it maybe here in the middle of the ear, like this. Let's add it here under his arms, under his neck, a big shadow here like this, and under the hair. Now over here on this side of the arm, here a big shadow under his bangs, a little bit here, and then under his chin over here like that. Let's add it to the right side of his body over here. On the bottom of his legs, and then on the right side here. A little bit here, and I think that's enough. Let's change the opacity of this layer. Let's make it 14%. Now let's make a new layer for the light. Let's set it as clipping mask. Change this to overlay. And let's change the color. Take the yellow one. And let's add the light. Let's add some light here on his feet, like that. Now on the left side of his belly. On his arm over here on the left side, a little bit above his nose, and here on the left side of his head, like that. And also just a tiny bit here on his hand over here. And now the ears. Let's do it on the left side of the ear, here in the middle part of the ear on the right side here, and left side here. Okay, let's change the opacity of this layer. Let's make it 66 so we can actually see it. Okay, and now let's do it to the cloud. So let's go to this layer over here, make a new layer on top of this, set it as clipping mask, change the blending mode to multiply, and change the color to the purple one. Let's add the shadow here under the unicorn. Now here around the cloud's shape, like this, so the bottom part of each of those arcs. And now let's add a big shadow here from the unicorn on this side. We can just add a shape maybe like this. Let's make the brush size 100% to color this quickly. And now smaller brush size, 11, to add some shadow over here. And maybe just a tiny bit over here. Okay, now we can turn down the opacity of this layer. Let's make it 18. And now let's make a new layer for the lights. Let's set it as clipping mask. Change this to overlay. And let's pick the color for the light, the yellow one. And we can just add it here. Let's make the brush size bigger. Let's make it 59. And I would like to add the light like that. So just some lines and some small dots around them. We can maybe also add the light over here like that. One and maybe one over here. Okay, let's turn down the opacity of this. Let's make it 29. And now in the end we can change the background color. So let's go here and let's take this purplish pinkish color. Let's tap on done. And let's add some white background behind the unicorn. So to do that, let's make a new layer. Let's move it all the way to the bottom. And let's take white color, just like that. And we can draw here a circle. Hold your pencil on the screen and put your finger here to make this a perfect circle. Let's tap here so we can move it. Maybe like this. Tap with a finger on the screen to finish this. And let's color this inside. And we can't do that because we have our reference layer set over here. So let's go to this layer of the outlines. Let's tap on it and turn off the reference layer. And now let's go back to the layer of the circle and color this inside. Let's spread this color around. Let's go to the adjustments and take Gaussian blur. Swipe your pencil on the screen to the blur size. And let's make this 29. Tap here to finish. And we can change the opacity of this layer. Let's make it 64. And now we can duplicate this layer. So swipe onto the left and pick duplicate. Let's take the one at the bottom and let's make it bigger. Let's take the arrow tool and just make it bigger like this. Tap here to finish. And let's turn down the opacity of this. Let's make it 33%. And now this illustration is finished. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial and I hope you can share your drawing with me on Instagram. I would love to see it. And if you'd like to draw more of me, don't forget to check out my Patreon. Link is in the description. Thank you so much for watching and see you in the next video. Bye!